Gonna be honest with you, those Bad Boys movies, Bad Boys 1 and 2, I enjoy them. Call it guilty pleasure, call it whatever you want, but it's like if you take Michael Bay, that alien robot who came to Earth to make movies, and you take his Michael Bay-ism essence, and you inject it into a buddy cop movie, and you have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence lending their charisma and chemistry on screen, it just makes for something I can watch and enjoy. Now there's a third one. I didn't think that would happen, yet here we are. Let's review it. Bad Boys for Life, which is funny because you would think they'd save that title for the fourth one. Bad Boys for... Maybe they shouldn't have. Saying it out loud sounded dumber. Okay, so Bad Boys for Life is the third Bad Boys movie. It's not directed by Michael Bay this time, but we have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence returning. And you have a baddie out there executing seemingly random people. So they're like, all right, who are these people? Why is this bad person executing them? Let's get to the bottom of it. And I gotta say, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, they're so good together. They've always been great together in the Bad Boys movies, and they're still great together. I want to give special love to Martin Lawrence, because you always hear about Will Smith. He's the superstar, but apparently Martin Lawrence was retired and came out of retirement for this movie, which makes me go, oh, does he still have it? I'm kind of nervous, but I mean, he does still have it. The dude is great. His comedic timing is on point. It's like he never left. So that dynamic's still in here. Little tweaks here and there with Will Smith, but I'll get to that later. Some enjoyable action sequences in this movie. Nothing quite as good as the freeway scene in Bad Boys 2, because that shit's pretty legendary. It's pretty good. I've always enjoyed the car onslaught that is the Bad Boys 2 freeway chase scene. And I didn't really enjoy any chase sequence in this movie as much as that scene, but still some enjoyable action sequences, less shaky cam than when Michael Bay did it. I'll say that, with the action sequences in this movie, the camera is on the target for a little longer, or on two people fighting for a little longer than before. Makes things feel a little more coherent. However, I can't believe I'm gonna say this out loud. Oh God. It is missing a little bit of that high-octane energy that Michael Bay does bring to it. But I feel like that's a conscious decision. And those are those tweaks I mentioned earlier, but I said I would talk about them later. I guess it's later. I do feel like with this movie, Bad Boys has run into what a lot of 80s and 90s action movie franchises have run into, which is at what point does the lead or leads, at what point do they out-age themselves? Bad Boys was about a couple of young hothead cops. One more of a hothead than the other one, because Mike Lowry's clearly the hothead. Shoot first, ask questions later. That's a quality that you can roll with if they're 20-something-year-olds. Bad Boys 2, 30-something-year-olds, but they still made it work. Now they're 50, and you can't really do that with them anymore. Comes across as irresponsible. It's like you guys are supposed to have learned in the decades since this thing started. So I want to give them props to the fact that they had the characters age. And you feel like there is a bit of a change in tone, which is a byproduct of age, but they do make it work. It still feels like a Bad Boys sequel. This is Bad Boys 3. It's just been 25 years since the whole thing started, so now we're here. It's not like Indiana Jones is all like,
you're a teacher?
Part-time.
No, that should be full-time. That should be your full-time job, teaching, because you're going to be out there in the ruins of Nothingsville. You're going to break your hip and no one's going to know where you are and you're going to die. It's very irresponsible. Don't do that. I was actually really amazed, if not impressed, that they had the characters age but didn't make them feel like characters other than themselves. A little older now, a little wiser, a little less hot-headed, but they still have hot-headed moments because people, am I right? Crazy animals, those people. But it makes me really interested going forward to hear they want to do a Bad Boys 4. I can see them going another direction, whereas Bad Boys 1 and 2 is like, all right, these hot-headed young cops. Going forward, I can see them making it something different, something a little more concrete and seasoned. Which crazier things have happened? The Fast and the Furious used to be about a bunch of knuckleheads racing for slips. Now, they're heist movies. It can happen. And the movie had a memorable villain. I feel that's important in a movie like this. The gold standard for forgettable as a villain is probably A Good Day to Die Hard. I don't remember jack shit about the villain in there. I think there were multiple villains. Are they Russians? I think they're Russians. Point is, I like a villain I can remember, and the villain in here, as well as the dynamic, is a memorable thing. So in the end, Bad Boys for Life, I actually enjoyed it. I feel like it's lost some of the energy from the first Bad Boys movies. I don't know if it's because Michael Bay's not there to inject it, or he's not there to inject it because, well, the characters have aged past it. All in all, Bad Boys for Life, it was pretty fun. A pretty fun time. No alcohol required. All right, so Bad Boys for Life, have you seen it? What did you think about it? How does it compare to the first two Bad Boys movies? Whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.